Hello and welcome to episode 12 of Under Fire. My name is Sam and I'm here with Grandfather Nurgle himself, Sam.
Hello, how you doing?
That was a suitably evil laugh
I
for what
was,
we're
I
going to be
was, yeah,
discussing today.
I was going for a Nurgly laugh. It didn't really sound like Nurgle to me.
It wasn't phlegmy enough. But...
Yeah, not enough wetness.
oh God. You may have gathered by now that the topic of today's episode is going to be the Death Guard Codex. Spoiler alert, he likes it.
I do.
So how are you doing?
I'm very good. I have been waiting for a while for this book. Obviously, it was pushed back. It should have been sort of early December, so it was pushed back. So very happy that it came today on time. Happy days, and I've had a good read through it, and yeah, awesome.
What more can you say?
It's all you need to know. It's awesome.
Worth the wait.
I think so. There's a lot of changes. There's a lot of stuff changed. There's a lot of stuff that needed changing. Some things didn't need changing, but I think in the long run will be better for the game, for the army itself, and like sort of the way you play it. I think it's good. It's solid.
Lovely.
Very chuffed.
I've had a cursory look myself.
Yes.
And I think from the position of someone who plays against Death Guard regularly, I'm looking forward to the games.
Yes, I think people should be happy and rejoicing in Papa Nurgle's goodness, because there's like I say, there's a lot of good stuff that's changed. Just to
the
make
flavour
them,
is there.
The flavour, yeah, just to make them feel like they are Death Guard, proper Death Guard. Yeah, I'm chuffed with it. I say the book itself, I had a good look through the book. The book itself is, I mean, the artwork for a start is fantastic. I mean, I know I can't show you through your ears, but there's a lot of updated artwork. Oh, I don't know if it's older pictures that they've sort of pulled out from the archives, but I've not seen some of them, and some of it has been put up on the Warhammer community page and on Instagram and stuff like that. They've put some of these pictures up on some of their posts, and they are just quality pictures. I don't think I've seen pictures like this of Death Guard that show quite how horrific they should look for a very, very long time. Yeah, some awesome artwork, and just the book in general, the layout. I really like the way it's laid out.
That's good, because
obviously all the new
main criticism of the older codexes was they were laid out in an awkward way.
Yeah. I think I assume the rest of 9th edition has, because I haven't actually bought one of the other books. I assume they are laid out in the same sort of way, and I think it's quite good. Yeah, it's a good layout, good looking book. Thumbs up from Papa Nurgle's Sam. Yeah,
I like the artwork they've gone for on the covers of the new codexes is so much better than the seemed previously the last couple of editions. The artwork on the codex had just been not one model, but one person from that army just on the cover. So the Thousand Sons had the Terminator on there, the Death Guard. You'd have just had that single Plague Marine on there. Whereas now it's just like you've got Mortarion on the front.
It's more of a artwork spectacle, I would have said. Not that the artwork wasn't good from the other books, but it was sort of just like one, like you said, one unit. This sort of shows a bit more of a flavour of the army as well, because you're getting like everything that comes behind a Death Guard armor, which is flies and all the horrible stuff. It just, really, really nice. Just for artwork alone, it's worth getting. I'll be honest with you. It's very good. Very, very cool.
Brilliant. Shall we get into the meat and potatoes of it?
I think we should.
Where do you want to start? Shall we start with the unspoken?
Are we talking about discussing the resilient here?
The thing that nobody wants to talk about. The new disgustingly resilient. We discussed it.
Discussed it.
We did. We discussed it at the end of, I think it was at the end of the 2020 year in review episode when it was first announced.
Yes.
And I think it's fair to say that you weren't particularly blown away by the new Disgustingly Resilient.
No, I think
out of context.
Yeah, like many people, for me, it was. I wasn't necessarily mad about the change for the rule. It was more. That's what I've always known Death Guard as. Death Guard have always been, since I even, well, God knows when. It's just been a 5-up feel no pain. They've had a feel no pain of some
I think they've had it
built
since
into
5th
the
edition.
Army. Yeah,
which is a long time.
A long time ago. Yeah, exactly. And it's just that staple. What's Death Guard? Disgusting Resilient.
Yeah.
What everyone knows. What's that mean? That means a 5-up feel no pain. It was like a bit of a So now they only reduce the damage by 1 and all that sort of stuff. But after reading through it, and I've read things, I've seen things online. Until you get the book and you actually read through, so stuff that can couple with, so I mean, they're still getting -1 damage from every, and that's per attack. So if someone hits you with three damage, 2 damage attacks, and they all go through, that's literally only doing 3 damage. So they're not doing 9 damage. Each one of those attacks takes 1 off each time.
Yeah.
So you're literally only going to take 3 damage. Which, if you look at it like that, you're having a duel captain to captain, lord to a captain or whatever, and he's hitting you with like a 3 damage weapon, and you only fail 2 of them, you're still going to survive. Like it does dampen down an awful lot of damage that can be put at you. But you then couple that with certain stratagems and other units like the Plague Surgeon, you can basically still have a feel no pain, and you can sort of mitigate it even more with other things, and harder to hit, harder to wound you and stuff like that. So I don't think it's that bad. After looking through it, I think it's not actually that bad. I think I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it.
I'm glad it's worked. I mean, I knew it was. I was sort of trying to be the voice of positivity. Surrounding the Disgustingly Resilient.
Yeah.
And I always thought, well, they're going to have something to counteract what, although mathematically it's a buff, it felt very much like a nerf, and so it's good to know. And Mortarion still has it, so that was a big thing for you.
There is still there's still a warlord trait that you can give to somebody to give them a 5-up feel no pain. So you can have your warlord, and like you say, Mortarion can still be a 5-up feel no pain, which on Mortarion is filthy because the man has already got an awful lot of stuff to keep him alive, which I'll go over.
Come to in a bit,
But I think it's not that bad. I think it's you got to play the game. You've got to see what it comes out like. I mean, there's always going to be them times where you could have been hit by 6 las cannons and you roll absolutely crazy and it only takes like 1 wound or something. The luck of the dice, it could still be there. You could still mitigate more that way, but I don't think it's that. I think we're all right.
I think if you look at it from a gameplay perspective as well, like when you get hit with a las cannon and your opponent rolls 6 damage and you save 5 of those 6, you yourself feel good. But that's not a feel good moment for your opponent.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
No.
So I think definitely having predictable damage reduction will, you know what you're getting into now. If I shoot my las cannon at these people, I know that they're going to take 1 less damage, and I'm okay with that.
Yes.
Because I know it's going to happen beforehand.
Yes, and that's it. Yeah, I think it's almost as well. It's that used to like you say, that it's a bit demoralizing when you just saving everything and you just roll randomly and you get all that. But it gives also a nice. You've got to think about what you're shooting at people now, because you firing damage 2 weapons at Marines, are you wasting the damage 2? Yeah, do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of that which is kind of nice to think about. That the opponent's got to think more on the feet about what they're going to actually shoot certain things with, because you got to know all of that's going to get reduced by 1. So I mean, it puts more into the game where you have to actually think about it. It's not just I'm just going to roll this. There's a thought process that the opponent also has to make against your units, which is a good thing, making everybody think more. You know,
It is. We should all think more.
add
Not
something,
Warhammer.
to the game. Yeah.
So let's talk new units then.
Okay, new units. So
there's 2 new units in the Codex.
Yes, we've got the new Lord of Virulence that they previewed a while back, which I really liked the model itself when we first got the previews, but I don't know what it is. I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago saying, after looking at it, there's something about it that I don't just don't like it now, and I don't know why. I don't know what's put me off it.
I think it's the stance.
Possibly.
I think it's very static.
Yeah, with a bit of jiggledy-piggledy sort of movement, I think I could make it to how I like to have a character or something a bit more, or I don't know, something more going on to make me feel better about it. But don't get me wrong, it's a lovely model. There's something I just can't put my finger on it. It might just be the stance that I'm just.
Sometimes you've just got to see it in person.
True. You can't make. Yeah, definitely. But the Lord of Virulence himself, sort of across the board, he's basically Lord of Contagion stat line. There's no real difference there. And Lord of Contagion stat line is good. It's good. His twin Plague Spewer is a Plague Spewer, strength 5 -1. Plague weapon automatically hitting. He's got Plague Claw, which is basically a power fist, but it's a plague weapon, which is cool. Yeah, there's nothing more to say. He's a good buffing character. He's allowing your core units to reroll hit rolls of 1. So he's got, which they've done across Lord of Contagion as well now. So you can instead of having to pay, I think there was a stratagem in the last book that came with Psychic Awakening, to allow them to be like a lord. Basically, they're called a lord, but they didn't give what a Chaos Lord did.
Yeah. I think we said that in the what you'd like to see in 9th.
Yeah, definitely. So at least now they've got a built-in reroll, so it's a viable HQ choice for some reliable rerolls. But what is good with him, he's got an aura, Master of Destruction, which these have been previewed, but it is good, making all of your ranged attacks for core units within 6 of him that are plague weapons on a wound roll of a 6, the armor penetration goes up by 1. So there's stratagems in here that can couple with that to make your bolt guns or your bolters, combi bolters and whatnot, plague weapons. So now you got him coming up with sort of like 10 Blightlord Terminators or something, all with combi bolters, firing off 4 shots at range because of they're in Terminator armor, so they're getting the 4 shot, the bolter discipline sort of thing up to which is called, is it Melissus? What's it called now? I can't remember what it's called for the death for chaos, and they've got a slightly different name to bolter.
Yeah, they've changed the name.
But there's a lot of shots. That's like 40 shots, and any 6s to wound is now a minus on top of that. And there's a stratagem where you can add another minus. So you could be getting like -2 bolters. You'd be 1,000 suns, basically. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's
own bolters.
Yeah. So yeah, he's pretty cool. He's quite cool. For the points as well, he's the same points as a Lord of Contagion. And he's basically like a buffing character from behind. Another option.
It's probably worth mentioning at this point something that I found quite interesting when I had a quick look at the Codex is that they've put a restriction on the amount of lords you can take. You can have the 1 per detachment.
Yes. Yeah.
And 1 demon prince.
Which I
thought was interesting.
I get it. I get like from reading some of the books and stuff before that they are quite precious. They are quite like, this is mine. No, get away. We're not sharing. The only thing with it is, there isn't any other options. So you can basically that comes under Demon Prince, Typhus, your Lord of Contagions and your Lord of Virulence, and then your Chaos Lords in Terminator armor and not. So once you've done that, if you're taking a battalion, you have to take a sorcerer.
Yeah.
There's no other option. So if you didn't want to run a sorcerer, you have to take a sorcerer. If that makes sense. You're sort of like forced into doing that, which is, I don't know, a bit weird.
It's odd. It's not like Games Workshop to restrict like that. It reminds me of back in the day when you had to have so many points to use a special character or something like that. It was an odd one. I'm assuming they did it for balance reasons, maybe because but it's something to be aware of. The other thing, go on.
Oh, go on. Sorry. Oh, I was gonna say, don't get me wrong. The sorcerers are good. The psychic powers you've got are very good. So you'd probably want to take one anyway. But
yeah, you'd like the option of not taking one.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because there's no other. You're literally Chaos Lords, and I mean your Demon Prince basically counts as a Chaos Lord as well. So I don't know. It's it's a bit of a weird one, but not the end of the world, I guess. But
it's there. It's a rule.
It's there. I like it. It's fluffy. It's Death Guardy because they would be arguing that they love it's their little
they're
little,
trying to get grandfather's
blessings
feel.
and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Brilliant. So what of the miasmic malignifier?
Yeah.
Now I hate this model.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the model.
Is it worth making your own?
I mean, it's all right. So you'd have to take another detachment to have it because it's a piece of terrain. So you've got to have a terrain.
Is there a command point cost to that then? Is it, or is it one of those ones that you can?
Oh, that's a good point. I don't know actually. I know. Ooh, I've not looked. I'm not sure of that. Possibly. Which I think it does for most other things. I assume there is because you're not taking it as a you're not taking your warlord in that detachment. So I assume there is a cost.
Yeah.
But the model itself, I mean, 75 points for a 12 wound, toughness 8, free up save thing that you can put on the battlefield. Now it's got no invuln, so it's only 12 wounds with free up save, a couple of las
Sorry, just to interrupt. A fortification network is 1 CP, so there would be a cost to take.
Okay, so you're also paying a CP for this. I mean, yeah. Besides the look of it, which like we've said is, I mean, there's bits you could do with it. It's just not everybody's cup of tea. It is a deterrent. Now, if you just whack it in the middle, because you can basically put it wherever you want. So you can basically just whack it on the battlefield, 12 inches from enemy deployment zone and any enemy models. But it's basically just a deterrent because it's got contagions and Nurgle, so you can't go near it. Wait, if you go near it, you're going to get a debuff.
Yeah.
It's basically quite a short-ranged attacks on it as well. It's got a noxious stink, 6-inch, heavy 2d6, strength 4 -1, automatic hitting flamer, basically. Okay. So you don't want to get too close to it because that is kind of tasty, especially when you're going to be a -1 toughness if you depending the turn if you're too close to it. Beg your pardon. It always counts as battle round 4 for it as well on its contagion. Okay. So it's constantly at its max range, which I believe is 12.
9.
Or is it 9? No, 9. Yes, you can do stuff to go.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. You got like
you almost be using it as a area denial piece or something like that.
Yeah.
But is it? Is it?
It's giving.
CP? How many points
giving
is it?
people 75 points, so it's not horrendous for what it does. Because it is giving light cover to everybody that's in its sort of 6-inch zone. So it's giving old Death Guard infantry cover. So your Plague Marines now 2-up save if you're near it, which is okay, not bad. Also, they have to subtract 1 to hit rolls against them. So it's giving it it's like a fog sort of aura, which is pretty cool. It's good, but I don't know if I'd want to take -1 CP and 75 points.
Yeah,
it's
there.
it's there. It's an option. It's what it is. It gives places for people to make their own variant of it if they don't
Yeah.
like carry looks, I guess. So yeah, it's something new. I'll take anything new. You know what I mean?
True.
New models,
True.
I'm happy. But yeah, it's what it is. It's there if you want it. That's pretty much everything that's new. That's the
As
new
on new.
the new pieces. Yeah, they're cool. I would have liked to have seen a different sort of HQ. I think. I don't know. Again, it's new.
It
I'd have
was
liked
very
to have seen.
unimaginative, I think.
I think so. I'd have liked to
I
have
think
seen
they
a
could have done
new
something.
Nurgle Demon Prince kit
Yeah, something
because
like
the
that.
the fine cast one that they do have. I mean, it is a nice kit. It's a nice looking model, but fine cast is just irritating.
Yeah, and they could do a lot more with it now, anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, overall, nice models, nice addition to the army.
So, changes to pre-existing units.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to bring this up because I brought up the last one.
Yep.
Oh, I thought was interesting, and this is again in the sort of front of the book. You can't have more things like poxwalkers than you have
Yes.
actual Death Guard.
Yes.
I don't mean more by models, but units.
So
yes. I think it's you can't have like for every Poxwalker squad, or they're called Plague Followers. I don't know what are included under that umbrella of Plague Followers. I presume it's anything that's not a Marine.
Basically, yes, that's right. So basically, you have to for every Plague Marine troop choice or Plague Marine, or Terminator squad that you take, you can then include in that a squad of Poxwalkers.
Yeah.
Or
which is
a
to
squad
stop spam.
Yes, or a squad of cultists. That's what the other the infantry one is.
That makes sense.
That's
Yeah.
basically Death Guard Plague Followers are
Of course,
cultists.
Yeah.
So yes, stop spam. Stop spamming just Poxwalkers and then no Plague Marines in sight, which I'm all for. Plague Marines
I'm all for this one.
should be in a Death Guard army. Like,
yes.
It's just what it is. And I kind of like it. You would have, like, if you got Death Guard, you'd have a few shambling things that have died and just come back to life and following them. I like the idea of mass diseased hordes of Poxwalkers, which is still achievable because you just take 2 battalions. Well, you don't even have to take 2 battalions. You can have in a battalion you can have 6 troops, can't you? So just take 3 squads of 5 or whatever Plague Marines, and then you can take 60 Poxwalkers.
Yeah, so
like,
still
you can still do it.
Yeah.
But
you can't go mad with it. You can't take it to the point of it being ridiculous.
Well, you can't just take Poxwalkers and not have Plague Marines, which I like. I think that's it's not too restrictive because you can still do it. You can still do a spam of Poxwalkers, but you have to take some actual Death Guard, which I'm all for.
Definitely.
But yeah, there's a lot of changes. So that, without going into too much detail on the changes, the whole army in general, everybody has basically gained another attack. So I don't know if they previewed what they were doing with this, but basically we've lost a few abilities across the board, which I believe will show for sort of codexes to come, Chaos and Thousand Sons. I assume they're going to do the same sort of thing. So
we've lost the attack on the charge.
We've lost Hateful Assault. You've just got that all the time.
Happy days.
Which is cool. So, you haven't got to be charged or charged to gain another attack. You just have the extra attack now. So I'm happy with that. You just always got an extra attack. Yeah. So that is a big thing, really, when you actually think about it. Against now Imperium, against Space Marines, Chaos have one extra attack constantly. Well, Death Guard, I assume they're going to do the same. Have an extra attack constantly, whereas Marines, they charge it, they get it for that first turn, and then it goes. Nah, obviously Marines are still stupidly powerful, but that's a little thing. That's one up for Chaos that you're going to have that extra attack on them. But yeah, we've lost Death to the False Emperor, so there's no longer just a chain of madness that could happen from one model. You know what I mean? That's gone.
I always forgot it, so for me that is
Yeah,
irrelevant.
yeah, people did forget it, and yeah, it's just one of them extra things you got to think about on top of everything else.
Yeah.
So it actually getting rid of it, I'm not bothered about it. That's fine with me. But yeah, so everything else is now baked in. So you've got um um disgustingly resilient obviously has changed. You've got malicious volleys, which is basically for that, which is what bolter discipline was. So the rapid fire bolters and all that sort of stuff. That's the bits in there. You also have remorseless now across a few units, which is combat attrition tests for a unit. When you have to take them, you basically ignore any modifiers. So
Yeah.
you ain't going to be losing a load if you've got modifiers attached to them and stuff, which is kind of nice. Death Guard would just be like, I'll go, and not everybody goes. That's how it would be.
Yeah.
So some cool stuff, and like you say, you've got your contagions and Nurgle as well, which is the new, the big thing that basically everybody's got across the board, which is now this -1 toughness bubble, which
Yeah. It gets bigger as the game goes on.
which gets bigger as the game goes along. Which I also like the idea of that as the game goes, you know, they get deeper into your lines, that it's sort of like this more Nurgles churning up
Spreads.
behind them, and it's getting worse, and the tainting quicker and all that sort of stuff. So I think they put this on Warhammer Community, but basically every battle round the contagion range goes up. So first turn it's an inch, basically just got to be in combat. Second turn 3 inches, third turn 6 inches, and then after that you're up to 9 inches.
9 inches of pain.
Which everybody loves a good 9 inch.
Yeah.
And there is also ways to increase that further up to about 12 inches, which is even better.
Which people like
with
even
some
more.
with some stratagems and some psychic powers and shenanigans and stuff. So a 12-inch debuff of -1 toughness. That is a big old. That's a big old
Bubble.
bubble of pain.
Bubble of toughness 2 Eldar.
Oh yes. And even their brethren of loyalist marines, you're wounding them on. What are you wounding them on? You wounded them on freeze with bolters.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's
Happy
pretty tasty.
days. Happy days. So yeah, basically that's across the board. Everybody's sort of gained that sort of stuff. I've noted a couple of units just to go over as
Can I
think
tell you before we do my
hit
favourite
me.
sweeping change?
Yep.
Inexorable advance.
Yes.
You don't count as moving, and which is obviously great.
Yep.
But what I really liked about it was you can't lower their movement more than anything, so they're not affected by things that slow their movement or their charge or anything. So if you've got something that's -1 to charge, they're not affected by it.
Which is just.
I really like that because they're not fast, but you can't stop them.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It's just that steady,
relentless
thing.
Yeah.
It was so easy for that to come across as like making them speedy, but it doesn't. It's like they're not particularly fast.
No.
But they're just going to keep coming.
Can't make them any slower than how slow they already are. Yes,
yeah.
I agree. I do like that. That is cool. Yeah, that is cool. And having that, it's just Nurgle. It's what it is.
Yeah. That's like you can
big...
just imagine these Imperial Guard just shooting into them, just going, "Why won't they stop?
They won't slow down."
Yeah. As they slowly walk up the battlefield
and just slaughter everybody.
Yeah. That was my particular favourite.
Yeah, no, I agree. That is a cool little thing. Units wise, I think some of the winners in a good way are so Terminators in general. So, and this is Lord of Contagions in Terminator armor, which now is pretty cool because it's sort of, I think they've done away with Cataphractii armor. I don't know whether they mention this at all in the Space Marine Codex, because I've not got that, so I've not actually looked through that properly. But basically, it's not called in here. It's not called Cataphractii armor anymore. It's just diseased Terminator armor.
Yeah, which happy days.
Which it's just very old armor now, and you're still getting your 4-up invulnerable save.
Yeah,
So it's still got that cataphractii sort of. Am I saying that right? Cataphractii?
I
It's something
believe
like
so.
that, wasn't it? Something like that.
Someone will tell you if you're not.
I'm sure I'm wrong, yeah. But you've still got your 4-up invuln across all of your Terminators, which is filth, as Terminators have now got 3 wounds, which is beautiful.
I can just see the rubric Terminators in front of me.
Exactly. It's just good. It's just good. And the Death Shroud Terminators are just filthy. I mean, these have been previewed a little bit.
How long have you been saying they should be 3 wounds? 2 years?
The dawn of time. Since they were an idea, they should. I mean, the fact that everything else has been. I was just saying Death Shroud should have been 3 wounds. But like, normal Terminators could have stayed at 2 wounds for me. I would have been happy with that. But Blight Lord, Death Shroud Terminators, sorry, in the fluff, they're bloated beyond the Terminator. They're bigger than Terminators, and they're just supposed to be like completely, these absolute warriors. They should have been 3 wounds, but now everybody's 3 wounds, so I'm even happier. Also with the armor, how slow they used to be. With if you advanced, you'd half it, and that was your in Cataphract armor. That was your movement. That's just gone. So now they're not toughness. They're not movement 4. They're movement 5. You can advance to your heart's content, and you can move 11 inches if you want to. I'm down with that.
Has this worked on Typhus as well? I assume it has.
This is across all Terminators, yes. So
Typhus
is
one
no
thing
longer
with Typhus
a
is
slow
Alex
boy.
just used to outrun him.
Yeah, he's no longer a slow boy. He can chase you. He can run now. So across the board, it's 5-inch movement for Terminators, which used to be 4 inches in their armor, which I just thought was ridiculous. It was so slow.
Yeah.
But yeah, Death Shroud in general. So the quicker weapon skills now 2s, which is awesome. They have took a hit. They were strength 5, toughness 5. They're now strength 4, toughness 5. So they have lost a bit of the strength. I don't know why. I don't think it makes too much of it because they're still strength.
You're lowering the toughness, so maybe it's just to balance it out. But I suppose it doesn't really balance it out because of the.
It might be the wounds. It must be something to do with the wounds, or I mean, that actually, it's to do with the way that their attacks work now because they're. I suppose it doesn't actually make a difference because basically they're Man Reapers now. They have the Scythe and the Cleave ability, don't they? So they can hit hard and it's a -1 to attacks, and then the Scythe anyway. If you're just doing it with the lots of hits, you're still +1 strength, so you're strength 5 anyway. It would have been strength 6. That might have been. There might be some value somewhere where they've realised if we just have that extra strength, it will cause so much pain because of -1 toughness auras and all that sort of stuff. So there must have been somewhere down there, some algorithm worked it out for him, and it was like, no, get rid of that. I mean, I've always loved Death Shroud, and I think with these little changes, I mean, now as well, they've all got the extra attack as well. So your champion has 5 attacks.
Ooh.
Right. And if you take the Scythe ability, the Scythe melee attack, you make 2 hits for each attack. So 10 attacks coming from one champion, 150-point champion model is pretty tasty. It's pretty tasty.
It's not bad, is it? I'll take that.
And I mean, couple that with some of the new stuff that they've added in, which are fantastic. You can take which they I believe they also previewed these the pathogens, which you can basically just give anybody that has a character model or now we're called bubonic Astartes as well. A bubonic Astartes model that has the champion in their profile. So a Death Shroud champion can take a pathogen. It is extra. You have to pay points for it. But some of these, I mean, that man's getting 10 attacks, right? You can then add unstable sickness. So each time an attack is made with this weapon, if an enemy model is destroyed by that attack, roll a 4+. That model's unit takes a mortal wound.
Ooh.
To a maximum of 3 mortal wounds per turn. So not
which
to go
much
crazy.
Get.
But you could kill 10 blokes with your attacks and then just do 3 mortal wounds on top of that and
Yeah.
kill another 3. Like, and there's others. I won't go through them all, but there's others. Another acidic malady. I think that's what it's called. I was going to say malady. I think it's
Acidic malady.
malady.
Malady, yeah. Probably is.
Improve the armor penetration of all of his attacks by 1. So his scythe attack as a cleave becomes -4, which is horrendous. That's just going through any, like, a rhino doesn't get a save. Just goodbye. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But your scythe is then -2, which just against Marines is knocking them down to a 5-up save. Like, that's just so much damage, so much potential. But I love that you can add those to champions now as well. I believe they did do this with Space Marine Codex and stuff. But just like your Blight Lord Terminator, you can make your Blight Lord Terminator champion or your Death Shroud champion feel like something more than just the other guys a bit more. You know what I mean? Than just having an
Yeah.
extra attack. Now they
Yeah.
can have like a bit of flavour to go with them. So yeah, that Terminators in general, I think anything wearing Terminator armor, you're now winning. And there's lots of stuff to choose from that's got Terminator armor. So that's a good little change.
Lovely.
The last thing I'll say, I don't know, I do know why, but there's now 2 separate profiles for Chaos Predators. You have Chaos Predator Annihilator and a Chaos
Oh,
Predator Destructor.
I've
So
not
you've
gone back
got
down that route.
yeah,
Okay.
so you've got the variant that has the las cannons, and then you've got the variant that can take the Predator auto cannon.
Yeah.
I assume that means you could have 6 Predators.
It does mean you could have 6 predators.
If you wanted to go down that route, I mean, if you're going down that route, you may as well play 9 hands or something. But like,
It's an option.
It's an option.
It's interesting. Wonder why they've done that.
Don't know, but yeah,
I hope they do that in the Thousand Suns one as well.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's a bit more. I mean, just I wouldn't want 6 Predators, but
No, I wouldn't.
the option's there.
The choice.
I mean, I could talk
Predators.
for hours about new units, and we would be here for hours. There's an awful lot of nice little additions that they've made. But yeah, basically any unit that can have a champion can now
Have a little buff.
have a little buff, which I love.
Which is
Bit of
nice.
extra flavour for your
definitely.
units and stuff.
Definitely.
So yeah, they're the existing units.
Should we get to the the big elephant in the room?
Oh, what are we
Mortarion.
Oh, Mortarion. Okay. Yes. No. Yes, we should.
In a word,
Filth. Or beast. Beast is those 2 words. Beast, filth. That's
filthy
all you
beast.
should change. Filthy beast. That should be his keywords. That's all it needs to be. Get rid of everything in his faction keywords and his keywords. Filthy beast.
Filthy beast.
Yeah. Incredible. Done. End of discussion. I can't tell you anything bad. There's nothing I can say that's bad. The man is.
So can I give you some stats?
Hit me up.
So I got these. I'm gonna quote my sources. I got these off the YouTube channel Auspex Tactics. Okay.
Okay.
Who did a video on Mortarion. So, how many? I'm gonna have you guess. How many bolter shots do you think it takes on average to kill Mortarion currently?
Bolter shots.
Yeah,
bolter
just
shots.
average Space Marine shooting bolters at him. How many do you think on average it'll take to kill him?
I would say a lot. Are we rapid firing, or are we just?
This is how many dice would be rolled to?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'm sure this is going to be an extortionately silly number.
Are you ready for this?
Hit me.
729 bolter shots.
That's far higher than what I was going to say.
Yeah. To kill him on average. And that is without Miasma of Pestilence.
But that's how it should be.
How many las cannons do you think on average it takes to kill Mortarion?
Now, you see, I was thinking about this when I was reading through it. Now, with his new rules, so let's just, bearing in mind, he's now got Disgusting and Resilient, which is taking whatever damage you do down by 1. He's
Yeah.
also got his 5 up, Feel No Pain. He's also, if it's a Lascan, it's got a 4 up Invuln. I would
Yes.
say a lot. I'd say a lot. I don't know. I mean, on average, say you fire. I mean, how many las cannons could an army have? Say you've got 10 las cannons and you're firing them, hitting on threes. You're going to drop what, 3 of them, 4 of them, probably 3 of them. You're going to wound with another sort of. I don't know. You're going to get him with like 5 of them, aren't you? And then he's going to save probably 2-ish, something like that. Your damage isn't going to be great because he's reducing. I don't. Oh God, I don't know how many on average.
It takes 43 las cannon
Oh
shots
God,
on average to kill Mortarion.
but nobody has that many las cannons.
I've got one more.
Okay.
How many melter guns at half range do you think it takes to kill Mortarion? It takes 34 melter shots at half range to kill Mortarion.
That's how it should be.
Now, I haven't checked the math. I'm trusting this guy's math, but he's a pretty popular YouTuber. He knows his stuff. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, that is a bit much. I mean, that's like like everything.
He's 490 points.
He's expensive. So, yes, he's a quarter.
And this is what we wanted. We sat in the episode where we spoke about what you wanted from Death Guard, and the big thing that we both said was he needs to be more survivable. He needs to not go down turn 2. Well, unless they've got 800 bolters, he ain't going down turn 2.
1,000,000%. And I think I think they've got him good in a good. I don't think any of this is bad. I don't think any of this is broken.
This is good.
It's good. I mean, it's not. Don't get me wrong. He is going to be a headache for people to go against, but he should be a headache to go against because he's a Primarch. I think they balanced it good. He's got. I mean, the man's got 4 fucking warlord traits, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Like,
well, here's the thing with him, and this is why I think 9th edition is such a good edition, and why I'm so good we've not played any games really.
Yeah.
Yes, he's incredible. Yes, he will not die, and he will tear you a new arsehole every turn.
Yeah.
But if you play the objective and you avoid him, and you concentrate on the things you can win, you can beat him. He will not die. He'll probably survive the game. That's okay. You can still, you know what I mean? That's what I like so much about this edition, and that's why I don't think he's over the top at 490 points. Because they, you're playing a 1,500 point game. That's a third of their army.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So you should be able to outmaneuver. You should be able to take the objectives.
Yeah, that's what you got to think. I mean, he's a big old boy. I mean, there's still, you could. I mean, you could still take away his Invuln with some armies. So there is still that. Exactly. Yeah. Def X. You could still Def X. You can.
If it's a thing, it might not be a thing in the future.
That's very true. But it depends on your matchups. But it is going to be hard. Yeah, it's going to be a lot harder for people to kill him. But he should be like that, and Magnus should be like that, and Gilliman should be an absolute freak. You know what I mean? Like they are Primarchs. They should. I don't think anyone can go, oh my God, that he's overpowered. That Mortarion is overpowered. I mean, you can if it's ridiculous, but from what is written down here, I think it fits Mortarion. It excites me to play Mortarion again. It excites me to think Magnus is going to be just as survivable and not just go, I'm facing knights. Oh, that's me done. Like they get first turn. Well, that's Mortarion gone. That's Magnus gone.
Yeah.
That's half my army gone. This ain't going to go well. It gives me hope that in other codexes, they're going to do stuff like this, and it's going to, and it gives me hope for other demon Primarchs that could potentially come out of the, if this is the baseline for it, I can't see them being unfavourable towards Magnus, even though he did a lot of stuff wrong. I can't see them.
I'm very excited for Magnus. I've got, I'll call it at the minute a Magnus semi.
A semi Magnus.
Yeah.
I get you.
Can I give you one more statistic?
I'd love it.
About Mortarion.
I love statistics.
I like numbers.
Yeah.
Mortarion charges a toughness 7 vehicle.
Yeah.
On average, he will do 33 wounds to that vehicle.
See, that's a lovely statistic.
So that means that you could charge him with Mortarion to a vehicle and a squad and split your attacks and not have to worry about it.
Doesn't that make you? Doesn't that fill you with joy?
It is. I mean, it
It's
doesn't in
it's
the sense
horrendous.
that
Yeah.
I'm going to be on the receiving end of that, but I think 490 points, I'm more than happy to take.
Yeah.
That to the face.
What and actually, I never. I love doing it because hey, whatever. That's the rules. It's written. I'm glad Death to the False Emperor is gone because of for this reason of you could fight with Mortarion. I mean, you've been on the Liam had been on the receiving end of it. People have been on the receiving end of his scythe attack, giving him 3 attacks per attack that he has. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could get a tremendous amount of stupid attacks off with Death to the False Emperor because you roll 2 6s, you add 6 attacks.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that was broken. That was stupid, really, in hindsight. I'm glad that's gone because that would have took this over the edge.
Yeah.
With
I think he's in a good spot.
I think he's really cool. I mean, he's doing his Primarch thing. He's giving a reroll to models within 6. Oh, actually, sorry. You can now as well. You can choose a Death Guard core unit or a character that's within 6 of him, and until the next command phase, they can reroll reroll their hits. So you can just do a flat full reroll for 1 unit, which is nice.
That's pretty juicy.
And he's giving off his auras still of core units can just reroll hit rolls of 1. So you're basically getting the what they're called chapter master equivalent for 1 unit, which is quite nice. I think that's how it should be. He's still a Primarch. He should still be able to do that sort of thing.
Definitely.
His Host of Plagues ability has gone, so that every turn on a 4 plus people are taking D3 mortal wounds or however many wounds it was.
But again, how often did you forget about that?
You forgot about it all the time. Yeah. They've cut down the stuff that you just pretty much forget, which I do actually agree with.
Yeah.
So, but now in place of that, he's basically got 4 blooming warlord traits, and you can choose 1 to give him out of everything from the 7 legion choices. Which some of them are better than others, obviously, but there's just you can choose anything for any game. It's quality. And he always counts as being in battle round 4, so he's always got his 9-inch. You come near me, I take your lunch money, sort of aura.
Everything you wanted to have, he's got.
Pretty much, I couldn't be more happy. The lantern, I'm not bothered about I think it's been nerfed a bit with the range. It makes no odds. I don't think I ever shot the lantern. Yeah. It's just good. It's just good. And he's still got his little Nurgling friend that can do D6 attacks, which, I'll be honest with you, they should have got rid of that because I never remember that.
Forgot about that every time. So, but anyway,
every single time. Yeah. It just makes me, optimistic for chaos in the future and what the Chaos Codex can bring and what the Thousand Sons will bring. So
it is exciting.
Very exciting. But yeah, on new units, well, not new units, but on across the board, it's
all good.
It's good. It's good. Yeah.
So let's go into the plague companies.
The 7 legions, yes.
Because these are my favourite bits of Codex. Yeah. I like the chapter tactics and all that.
Yeah, definitely.
Introduced in Psychic Awakening, updated slightly.
Yeah.
What do you
think? Very cool. Very cool. There's a few changes here and there. I'll not go through all of them, but there's a few changes to some of them. There's basically something for every way you want to play the game. So you've got there's some combat ones, there's some shooty ones, there's demon engine ones, there's a psychic one with the wretched, which is quite nice. Basically, you can make 1 psyker an additional power, can reroll a psychic test for that model once per psychic phase, so you can get a reliable power off without having to spend the CP, which is nice. Just really nice. This in fact, I really like. So the relic for the wretched plague company, which is the Demon's Favor. So one of your malignant plague casters, they have an ability called pestilence. What is it?
Pestilence.
Pestilio fallout. It's somewhat fallout, pestilency fallout or something. And basically, when you successfully cast a spell on a 7+, a unit within I think it's 7 inches or something like that, or 12 inches, I can't remember what it is, but they basically take a mortal wound. So you could do a smite, get a successful smite, D3 mortal wounds, plus 1 mortal wound on that unit as well, because they're within range, and you've gone over 7, which is nice. But this turns that ability into torrent of putrefaction. So each time this model successfully manifests a psychic power, we're bearing in mind if you have given him the stratagem at the start of the game, he can re-roll one of his psychic packs, so you can sort of guarantee this goes off. Each time he successfully does it as well, so he can do this twice in one turn. If the result of the psychic test is 7 or more, the closest enemy unit within 12 inches suffers D3 mortal wounds.
Ooh.
So you've just done a smite for D3 mortal wounds. You've
Yeah.
also gone over 7, so they take 2d3 mortal wounds.
Yeah, that's
from one smite.
It's worth it.
You then, you turn around and you see Morty over there, and you go, right, I'll give you Miasma Pestilence. Oh, I've successfully cast it over a 7. That unit that's just took 2d3 mortal wounds, now they take another d3 mortal wounds.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is pretty sick, and that's within 12 inches. Otherwise to that, it's just the closest enemy model. If you don't go over 7, just this makes it so that every time you cast a spell, a unit within 6 takes a mortal wound.
That's cool.
So instead of having to go over 7 to get one mortal wound, you basically you that's going up to D3 within 12, and just everyone else will take a mortal wound on a 6. Which I just think that's if you're going down you want a proper, your warlord or something to be a proper psychic monster. That's the one to take. That's something to take. But like I say,
I've picked a favourite.
Oh yeah.
I went through them all and I picked one. I went for the Ferrymen.
The Ferryman is very cool. Yeah.
Because for me, it seemed this idea of control. So they've got the stratagem to increase the aura range to 12,
which is very good. Yeah.
But then the Warlord trait, you can half the enemy's movement range.
Yeah.
So I like this idea of you being weakened by this disease and you can't get out of the aura. You're sort of stuck in it. I thought that was just. I really like how that sort of that control aspect, keeping them where you want them, and the relic is a big sap. So I went for the Ferryman for my favourite.
Yeah. I mean that Warlord trait, the droning for the contagion range as well. Couple that then with they can't get away from you, and they're stuck in the -1 toughness bubble as well.
Yeah.
So it's just keeping that sort of just pushing everything in on them, and the Ferryman is very, very cool. It is very cool, and like you say, a giant scythe is
always fun.
Is awesome, and the fact the Ferrymen are sort of the guys that take you the boat, the guys on the ships. They're like the ship, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're in charge of that. It's very, very cool.
Yeah, I like them. They were my favourite.
And like you said, we've said before, the poxmongerers, which had the Ironclot furnace for what was on about with the demon engines, to give the 4-up invulnerable save, that has been nerfed, which is a good thing. So basically, you can just choose one unit to gain this 4+ invuln. So, which can still be, I mean, you could still have 3 Mephitic Blight Aulers and give them a 4-up invuln across the unit, because you can take 3 in a unit. So it's got its place. I mean, I think coupled with other things, you can still give Miasma Pestilence off, and there's a stratagem for certain tanks that you can do a smoke screen, a fog screen thing, and it's a -1. You could sort of, you could get enough of your demon engines to have a certain debuff from the enemy shooting at them to, you know what I mean? You can sort of like spread a couple things around to make it different, but it's just not. I stand in the middle and everybody's got a 4-up invuln now, which is a good thing.
It is.
But yeah, no. The when they introduced the plague companies in the Psychic Awakening, I was as you were with the Fathers and Sons.
Oh yes.
It just adds so much, doesn't it? It's quality.
It completed the codexes.
Quality.
It took them from
Definitely.
a small little niche thing to having a proper codex.
And just flavour then, like adding that again, there's layers to it. You can make an entire army and base them on like the ferrymen, and all the tanks have come from the ships, and just it's cool.
Fun. So, stratagems.
Yes.
Let's talk stratagems. Now, because I don't know an awful lot, but I've been through and picked a few that I thought were very cool, so I'll talk about them in a bit. But what do you think? Lost any that you didn't, that you wanted to keep, or over the?
What I haven't done, which I need to do, is the old codex to look and sort of look across the board. There's a few, I can't remember a lot of bits that's gone, but there's all of it's good. There's something for everyone, as Nurgle likes to be. They've sort of got rid of just like generic stuff. I mean, but there is obviously generic stuff in here, but they've got rid of some of the just not necessary stuff. There was a lot of items you'd never use, you'd never need to do that. You still keeping everything sort of being able to give multiple gifts, multiple relics out, multiple warlord traits out.
They've got the ones you expect every army to have.
Yeah.
And they've added in to hit and stuff.
Yeah, they've added in multiple champions of disease, so you can give out multiple relics to champions. So you can give a champion a relic as well, which is quite nice.
That's cool.
Which, like I was on about earlier, you can give them the pathogens. You can also give the Death Shroud captain the Ferryman Scythe, which is pretty sick. You haven't got to give it to a character. You can give it to these lower down folk, which is cool. But yeah, there's basically, in a nutshell, there's something to give you an additional attack with most units. There's something to give you like -4 on 6s to hit or wound on the armor penetration, and just loads of little bits like that. Just stuff to buff your characters really well. But nothing crazy. Just sort of like an extra attack, an extra to hit, an extra to wound, and I think they are CP'd accordingly, which I quite like. The stuff that sticks out for me, because they've sort of broke them up. There's like defensive. It's sort of like broken down into different categories.
Yeah, there's like requisition and tactical.
The ones that stick out to me was I was a bit. One of the nerfs they have done is the flails of corruption. Basically, they now don't overspill with the damage, which I get why they've done it, because the attacks have gone up. Because you used to roll, I think it was something like D3 attacks per normal attack. So if it was on a Plague Marine and you charge, you got 2 attacks, so 2d3 attacks, right? Or I think it might have been flat 3 or something like that. I can't remember what it was. They got rid of that, so the damage doesn't overspill, because people basically just spammed flails of corruptions in little units, and then you just going around doing multiple damage across units. What they've done is put it into a stratagem, so you can basically, it's called Haze of Corruption. In the fight phase, a Death Guard core unit selected to fight with. Each time an enemy model is destroyed by an attack made with by a model in that unit, any excess damage inflicted is not lost. Instead, it spills over. So you can now, I mean, it's a 2 CP stratagem now, but you can still do it. You can go in with your Blight Lord Terminators or your Plague Marines or whatever, with 2 flails, and you can knock that damage across, but you have to pay for it, which I'm happy about. I don't mind.
I put that at the top of my favourite stratagems list.
There you go.
Because I just thought it was so cool with just swinging wildly and just wiping out. I like that. Yeah,
that is a very cool strat. I like that. Yeah. Another one that I liked was the change they've done for the sort of the Poxwalker one, which is the Dead Walk Again.
So, that's the second one on my list.
we think the same. So, like you say, I mean, I'll let you go through that one as well, but I like that better than what it was, which is you just kept killing and whatnot. At least this, you just roll 7 dice, any freeze, you come back. You're basically reanimation protocols for Necrons. You've now got on your Poxwalkers,
And on
which I like.
7d6, you're going to get 4 or 5 every
Yeah,
time.
which is nice. And you couple that, you've still got, if you attack and you kill a model, you get one back with the Poxwalkers. That's still in their core normal rule. So obviously you don't go past. I think to take away that whole going past the limit that you could have had, I like. Do you know what I mean? Like you could, they did this stratagem originally was in the 8th edition codex was you would kill a unit, kill a model, you could go to pass your starting squad number basically.
Yeah.
But you'd have to use reinforcement points and all that sort of jazz if you're playing match play, which is just a silly thing because you're just never going to put points towards maybe getting a Poxwalker. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just silly. So just allowing you to get some back on the roll of that for a CP as well is nice, but it can only be used per unit once, which I also like because you could just do that every turn and it'd be a nightmare.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, like that.
I've got one that's a similar sort of. I've got one that's I quite liked. That I don't think will ever see use, in all honesty, but I really liked it. Mutant Strain. There's 1 CP. So it's for Poxwalkers again. 6s to hit or a mortal wound.
Yeah.
1s to hit or a mortal wound on the Poxwalker.
On the Poxwalker. Yeah, I think that is cool. That is cool. If I mean, it's one of them again. If you need to really try and bypass a unit's armor saving, Vun saving, just kill them. Why not? They've got 2 attacks each. If
you can bring them back, so
you can bring them back. Go for it. Give them a go. And that is only 1 CP as well, which is nice.
I think I quite liked that. I thought it was a cool one.
Definitely.
Another one I liked, if I may.
Yes,
because this one I thought was very cool. Break Their Spirits.
Yes, that is what I'm trying to find that. That's the one I was
looking for.
Yeah, that's the one I was looking for.
So if units in combat with a Death Guard Terminator, you can give them -4 leadership,
which is just beautiful because
which I love leadership things. I love the idea of breaking somebody's spirit.
Yeah, because you can couple that with I don't know which one it is, but there is a one of the plague companies. I can't remember which one it is. There's a unit. There's a plague company that basically does a little bit of sort of a negative effect to morale test and whatnot, but I can't remember which one it is. I can't see it. My eyes are giving me pain. No. Anyway, there's other things as well that couples with it to make that really quite nice, actually. So, yeah, I love that. I love that idea, especially with the Death Shroud. They're these beastly scythe wielding.
Yeah.
And just
they are terrifying.
Yeah. If you were a 10-man squad of guardsmen infantry and you're firing at this guy and he's just coming at you, there's one blow, he won't stop coming at you, and then he just cleaves 6 blokes in half. You're gone. You're gone.
Yeah.
You're just like, no.
Nope.
No, nothing stopping
this shit,
that.
I'm out.
Exactly. You are down the road faster than the Emperor can psychically kill you. You are gone. You are gone.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's some very nice stuff. There's some really nice stuff.
It's all very flavorful.
All very flavorful. Yeah. Very cool.
That's the stratagems are.
Very cool.
Let's finish off then, because we're running long, as I thought we would be.
I can imagine.
A little bit of Crusade stuff, which obviously we've not played a lot of Crusade. We've not played any Crusade, but my favourite bit of the new stuff.
It is. I'm not too clued up on Crusade because I've not read through it properly. In this book and in the core book. So you've gone through it a bit better than I'll know.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the flavour of bits that are in here, very cool. Very cool. Like the chaos boons you can get for your characters and stuff.
Great to put that into the Crusade because obviously it used to be a stratagem that nobody used. The boon of chaos. If you killed a character, you got to roll.
Yeah.
Having it in Crusade, that's where it should be. Like.
Yes, definitely. Which it's cool.
And I think it puts some great modelling opportunities into it. Like you're rolling on your character and he rolls strength, and then you roll again, and you think, hang on, he's now had enough upgrades that I'm going to make a new model for him, and I'm going to show these And then he turns into a spawn.
Yeah, just
And then you make a spawn with his head in the spawn, so that you know. I think that's great.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, the Crusade stuff in general, the relics are awesome. There's just some fantastic relics in here. But the best thing about Death Guard in Crusade, you can make your own disease.
Make custom plague maker.
You can make a disease, man. Like,
it is pretty beautiful.
It's so cool. I mean, I've not read through them all, but you basically have like 3 steps to the disease.
Yeah, so I've got it written down.
Yeah.
In a brief thing. So you pick a vector, which is the way it spreads.
Yes. Yeah.
You pick an infection, which is the effect it has on the unit that it's spread to, and then you pick a terminus, which is how the enemy unit can get rid of it.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you make a Chinese takeaway menu of deliciousness.
It's you just know how many people are going to make Corona. Like that'll be what they're calling it in game.
Yeah.
The Corona. I mean, just.
But then it makes a name, so you could have. You pick the vector name, the infection name, the terminus name, and that can give you a name. So it could be the weeping infectious cysts.
It's beautiful. Beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Do you know?
Now, I do think it's one of those things where if you're looking at it and just deciding what you think is going to be the most powerful, you're doing it wrong.
Oh, you just roll.
Yeah.
You
roll, or you just come up with something that sounds cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just so cool. It just makes me crave to play a game in general. Crave to play Crusade, which we haven't done it. I mean, we set up Crusade for sort of the basis for a Crusade for Space Marines and Dark Eldar. Sorry, Drukhari. Sorry. However, I need to make a disease, Sam. I don't think you.
I want to be infected with a disease that you have made.
It's just.
What
more can you say?
Such a good idea.
So good. Like you could build this beautiful story about. I mean, my Lord of Contagion that I made, Gyaradox the Enblightened, Lord Gyaradox. He can make his own goddamn disease and just go forth and spread, like
a signature, a signature scent,
a flurry at the end of his, a flourish. Sorry, at the end of his.
It is pretty beautiful.
It's exciting, and I'll say it again. It's just exciting for what can come.
Yeah.
We're only like 3 codexes in really, and 2 supplements. Like that's it. Like there's still a lot of stuff to go, and everything that sounds like it's coming for Drukhari and whatnot, they've said it's just going to be like damage and just buff. It's going to get buffed up. I'm so excited to see all the codexes if they're going to be like this.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, it's really really cool. Very very
cool.
Exciting.
Let's finish off then. In 10 words or less, how do you feel about the new Death Guard Codex?
Filth. I only need 3.
Filth.
Well, I only need 1, but just repeat. Just filth. It's what I want from Death Guard.
Beautiful.
I'll be honest with you. I think they've smashed it. I think some units have sort of had a bit of a nerf here and there. Some of the demon engines are going to be not as good, but you just got to work around it. I think there's plenty of other stuff to put in there as distractions from certain. Like you put Mortarion in, you put a load of demon engines in. The fact that the demon engines aren't that good anymore, or have suffered a bit of nerfs here and there with their resilience. They're gonna, if they're not shooting at Mortarion and they're shooting at them, Mortarion's gonna kill them. If they're not shooting at them and they shoot at Mortarion, they're gonna go and actually do some damage because they can still, they can still Barney. So
yeah,
I think everything that this needed to be is there. I can't think or whatever of a bad thing about it. There might be things, people might have opinions on it and think,
but they're wrong.
Discussing the Resilient is still, I don't think Discussing the Resilient is that bad anymore.
I'm happy to hear that.
The losing of it, chuffed. I've waffled so much. I apologise. This might be a
Excitement. It's an
12-hour.
excitement.
It is. It is genuinely. I mean, I only got it this afternoon. I've just been like sort of when I could, just flicking through bits
Yeah.
and making notes. So no, it's yeah, excited for the things to come in the future, mate.
Good. I'm excited to be on the receiving end of it.
Definitely.
I'm looking
The
forward to
receiving end of my disease.
of your diseased length thrusted in my direction. I cannot wait. Good.
Yeah.
Let's take a break.
Okay.
We'll come back and we'll do our end of show hobby stuff.
Yes.
We'll
Awesome.
be right back. Okay, we are back, and Sam has had a cold shower to relax himself after the.
You know what? I was literally gonna say I've just had to have a shower after all that nurgly disgustingness.
You need
Sorry,
to calm
yeah.
yourself down a bit after the.
Oh mate, that wasn't even planned. I genuinely, just as I was at the toilet, I thought I'm gonna say that. That'd be funny.
I'm gonna get him.
Yes,
So
I'm calm.
let's finish out the show with a bit of chilled out, non-nurgly, although yours might be nurgly, hobby progress. Would you like to go first? What have you been doing, if anything?
I can go first. I'll be honest with you, not a lot. What I've not really painted anything new. What I have been painting is the defiler conversion that I've done was getting on my tits, so I've put that to one side for a little bit. I've got 4 things on the desk, and I'm basically rotating around these 4 things.
Right. Okay.
Because I get frustrated with one or something don't go right, and I think I'll do that later. I'm not bothered with that now. I'll do it later. So I've also got Mortarion on the table.
Oh.
He's on my turntable. So
he's having
I've been
a touch up.
repainting. He's having a touch up. I mean, 2 years ago I painted him. Probably a bit more now. In fact, yeah, a lot more than 2 years. I don't even know when did the Death Guard Mortarion thing come out. I don't even know when that came out.
Ages ago.
I mean, I painted him pretty much when I got him, which was pretty much when he came out. So
it must be 3.5, 4 years ago.
Since day dot, I've progressed as a painter, and I think I've progressed as a painter, and looking at how I painted him, I'm just not happy with it. So I've updated part of the way I paint the Death Guard anyway. So I'm going through the process of sort of, it's nothing I've got to strip. It's just repainting a bit of cloth here and a bit of something like that. So, but obviously Mortarion is a huge model, so it takes a bit longer. So I've basically been repainting him. Not a lot more painting, just sort of like repositioning the bits of certain models and more planning than painting. I'll be honest with you. Planning what needs to happen, and I've also started ripping apart which has been several different legions, several different chapters, Land Raider. I'm never going to use it in a Space Marine army again. So I've ripped it apart and I'm basically turning it into a Death Guard.
Death Guard up.
Death Guard Land Raider, which I just want a personal transport for Lord Garadox, basically, and that's going to be his personal little chariot.
Why not?
The Iron
He's
Slug.
Earned it.
Yeah,
the Iron Slug.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be good. So yeah, that's basically it. I've not had much time. The usual excuses, but I've just not done that much. I'll be honest with you. I'm in the process of migrating back to the garage, but the garage is being boarded out properly, so it'd be insulated and actually usable as a blooming painting room. I'm gonna put all my stuff in there. Computer, everything's going in there basically. So I'm gonna have a bigger space, a better space to be able to. I'm cramped. I'm basically Harry Potter under the cupboard in this room. I've got stuff surrounding me. You can't have things to hand. They have to be in cupboard bits because you've just got no room to put it out. So it does slow the process down.
You need a designated space.
That's it. Keeping I can't put. I have to dismantle the airbrush every time I want to do an airbrush, which ain't what I want to do. So that's me.
No purchases.
The Death Guard Codex, and that is it.
Oh my
And,
god.
but no,
Okay.
I know this. It's been a dry month. It's been
It's
a bit
been
of
a
a dry
dry
month.
fortnight.
How about you? I'm sure you've got more
I mean,
interesting stuff than mine.
No, I'd be honest with you. It's been a slow couple of weeks for me. I finished the 2 Harlequin jet bikes I was working on, the Skyweavers.
Yeah.
And they took a long time because
lovely.
they're Harlequins.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I bought the stencils for the diamonds.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're not like sticky ones. They're like hard plastic ones that you just hold over.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah.
So they're quicker, really.
Yeah.
They're just a bit
not
as precise. But as I've said with these Harlequins, I'm just getting them done. You know.
Yeah.
So they turn out all right. I've got another 2 to do, but I'll get to them. And then I started on the Malifaux box set that I got for Christmas because I fancied doing something a little bit different. Did one model. I haven't put a picture up of him yet. They're very delicate, very small, detailed models. So it took me a long time. And then I spent like 2 hours last night wet blending some green, and then decided I didn't like the greens I'd chosen. So got to go back and redo it. So
dripping that.
Yeah, but part of my sort of hobby 2021 resolution was to experiment more with my basing, which I have done. I've done like a swampy base.
Oh yeah, cool.
On the Malifaux thing, and just to try and paint some different stuff. So I'm at least achieving my
your goal
so far, which is good. I bought some models for a different game. I'll be honest with you.
What? Not Malifaux?
Not Malifaux or Warhammer or Guild Ball.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought some models for the game Twisted. Which is like
don't even know what that is.
So they're like, basically the game is set in like steampunk London.
Oh, is that what you showed me? And
I think I showed you.
You got Oliver Twist and
that's the one. Yeah, but they're all twisted.
Okay,
hence the
cool.
name.
Yeah,
I bought 2, but the great thing about them is the models are metal.
Yeah,
but you can buy collector's versions which are in resin.
Okay.
Now I'm probably never going to play this game. In fact, I'm never going to play this game. But I really like the models, so I bought 2 of the resin ones.
Yeah.
To paint because I thought they were cool. I bought Fagin and some weird bulked up blood rage thing that I thought looked cool.
Very cool.
I'm just going to paint
cool.
Them. And I also bought, which is quite exciting, I bought a plinth for that bust I got.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like, not very exciting, but it arrived today, and I love it. It's only a little wooden plinth, but I love it. I can't wait to put something on it.
That's cool.
I feel like I'm a professional painter. You know what I mean?
I have plinth. I'm profesh.
I feel like I've said my model is good enough to go on this plinth, or will be good enough to go on this plinth.
Yeah.
So that's
actually,
today, but
that is one of my hobby hopeful resolutions for this year is to do a model and have it on it, like do a small plinth and have a display piece of the model on, and do the top of the plinth as the base and everything, and make it. Yeah, that's one of my goals this year. Very cool. I'm looking
forward to it. I think I'm going to do some of the Malifaux, and then I might start my bust because I'm quite excited about it.
Yeah.
But then the Dark Eldar Codex is going to come out, and that's going to send everything into a.
Exactly. You'll get
into a tiz.
You'll get tied up with
the best laid plans. But other than that, that's it. It was a slow one for me.
Yeah,
I'm afraid. That is
January blues. First of January.
We'll get back on it.
Yeah.
My plan going forward, I've already said I'm going to hopefully finish the Malifaux stuff or get some of it done, and then I'm going to start that bust, and also I'm going to do another Harlequin troop, I think.
Very cool. I cannot wait to play against the Harlequin. So
I'm excited.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I'm in a bit of a transitional stage, not as my person, but going into the garage for my hobby area. So sort of going to be in the next week or 2 going over there. So I'm going to be doing a lot of boxing up and a lot of sort of arranging plans and stuff. So I'm not going to get that much done. I'll be honest with you.
I think moving your hobby thing is hobby progress,
I,
like
yes,
rearranging, reorganizing.
I
I
think
think
you're
that
right.
counts.
I think upgrading into a better space for in general to do this stuff is, yes, I agree. I'll take that. That's my hobby pledge.
Lovely.
Moving.
Moving, getting kicked out the house into the garage.
Basically. I don't know how I feel about it actually. The more I think about it, the more I'm being shunned for my
Look, I just
my
want
hobbies.
somewhere I could play Warhammer.
Yes.
I don't care if you're in a ditch
I'll
at the
take
bottom of the garden,
I'd
as long as
take
there's a
a
table set up in there and I'm
yeah,
allowed to come round.
yeah. And the more I'm thinking about it, I'd take a £10,000 fine to do a game of Warhammer right now.
I am getting to that point of being like,
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
Although
No,
you could buy
never.
10. No, it's not. Stay tuned, kids.
Yeah.
You could buy 10
Stay home.
Titans for that.
True.
It's not worth it.
Right, let's get to my favourite bit of the whole show, the Instagram
Yes,
pics.
the Instagram pics.
After last week's
marathon
of session, just the one this week. Would you like to go first? Do you
I
want to go
can
first?
go. I can go first. I don't mind.
You go first.
My pick for the week is, I believe it's called Mikkel's _ miniatures, and that is
Okay.
Mikkel with 2 K's, MIKKELS _ miniatures.
Miniatures, I've got it.
And his
Mikkel
post that he did is his Doom Rider. And it is so beautiful.
That.
I know. It's basically, I mean, you'll see it on screen, but it's it's everything Slaneshi that I imagine.
It's a Mad Max Emperor's Children motorbike.
And I mean, I believe the sort of the body of it is the I can't remember what the unit is. It's the Chaos Hellstride. Is it Hellstrider or something like that? The guy that's the what they called. He's like the tech priest for Chaos thing. The guy that buffs tanks and demon engines and stuff. It's sort of like the body of that, the creature that he's on, but morphed into a bike, which it's just beautiful. It's just awesome.
That is filthy.
I mean,
I love that.
It's painted beautifully. The base is beautiful. Just the concept of it is just. It's like I love that it's a motorbike, yet the man is clearly holding reins on this bike. Like it's
because it's alive.
It's basically a horse bike, which I love.
A living horse bike.
It's cool.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
Is nice.
But I saw that a couple of days ago, and I was like sold, easy. That's my pick.
Locked in. So that is Mikkel's miniatures. Should be up on the screen.
Yeah. How about yourself? What's your pick
I've got
this week?
It is. Let me find it. It's all one word. This Craft World's Mistress.
Craft World.
CraftWorldsMistress. And I think it's the first work in progress shot that I've ever chosen. This individual is painting a Eldar plane. I think it's the Hex Wraith.
Yeah. Oh my lord.
Hemlock Wraith fighter, or
Yeah.
But they've freehanded a phoenix onto the top of it.
Yeah.
And it's a work of art.
That's
all you can say on it.
That is pain. That is.
And they've individually painted every single feather across the full surface of the Hemlock Wraithfire. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, that is.
It might be a Crimson Hunter, but it's
one of those.
One of those, and it is.
That is a feat of paint.
That is something I would never have the patience to do, even if I could pull it off.
I mean,
if you go further down, you can see some work in progress shots where they've lined it all out and stuff.
Yeah,
it's just...
I don't know how often this person paints, but I mean I think this says a lot about how long this has probably took them. The first sort of ones is sort of July last year, and that sort of 11th of January sort of basically finished it. that is a big old job. That's a big task to, like, the patience to do that is something.
Yeah, it's. I thought it was very impressive.
I bet they're not having more than one. I bet you
Yeah,
nah.
not a chance. You got to admire the commitment. I would not. I'd get like 5 minutes into that, make a mistake, and just think, no, I'm out. Do you know what I mean?
I'm done.
I'm just gonna spray it.
Yeah.
Check that out. That's Craft World's Mistress, all one word, no spaces.
That is awesome. That is very cool.
Lovely. That is it. Anything to add to episode 12 before
if you don't collect Nurgle, Death Guard, start collecting Death Guard Nurgle, not because they're overpowered or the meta tells you to, but because they are absolutely awesome. And that codex is quality. They've smashed that, I think, personally. And I mean, I know I'm a bit biased because I love Death Guard, but I think that is a benchmark for what codexes pretty much should come out like. I mean, not played it, not, you know, there is little gaps, there's little things that are be like, but I think everything's viable, which I love. I mean, there's a unit that isn't like, I wouldn't take that for a reason. There's everything in there. You have a good reason to take in a list, which I think is quality.
Brilliant. Right. That's it for episode 12.
Right.
And our first ever Codex review. Hopefully, at some point, we'll be able to do a episode of. We've now played a game with this Codex, and we think X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
In the future, but can look forward to that one. So, hopefully, enjoyed our first Codex review. I've enjoyed it actually.
Yes.
Especially for an army that I don't play, it's been good to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, definitely.
And experience your excitement.
Moist. That's all I need to say.
I can feel the moisture.
Yeah.
Down the microphone.
On the breath. Yeah.
So, let us know what you think of the Death Guard Codex. And if you've even managed to have a game with it, what you thought of it would be nice. Like the video, subscribe, go and follow us on Instagram, and follow all the wonderful people whose painting we showed off as well.
For sure.
So we will see you in 2 weeks' time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.